I came to in a book. Or, more accurately, I came to as a character in a trashy billionaire romance novel. And not even the main character. I was the side plot, the walking wallet, the designated simp. My one and only purpose was to throw myself at the female lead until the hero, a greasy CEO named Ethan, inevitably crushed me on his way to a happily ever after. The original script had me giving her cars, houses, and my undying devotion, only to end up bankrupt and taking a swan dive off a skyscraper. My plan was simple: play the part, hit my marks, get humiliated, go broke, and retire early. But there was a slight complication. The female lead, the one I was supposed to be simping for, could hear every single one of my thoughts. "Ethan, please calm down. Don't cause a scene over someone like me." The soft, pleading voice was like a bucket of ice water to the face, shocking me out of a daze. I blinked, my vision clearing, and realized I was on one knee. In front of me stood a woman in a simple white dress, pretty in a girl next door kind of way, her expression a perfect mix of distress and vulnerability. She was looking at me, then glancing worriedly over my shoulder. I followed her gaze. A man in a bespoke black suit stood there, his hair slicked back with enough product to be a fire hazard. A smirk played on his lips, a look of pure, unadulterated arrogance. He was staring down at me like I was something he'd just scraped off his shoe. "Leo, have you no shame?" he sneered, his voice colder than a Manhattan winter. "Chloe is my woman. A pathetic simp like you doesn't stand a chance." Chloe Miller, Ethan Hayes, Leo Vance. The familiar scene, the painfully cringy dialogue. Oh God, it was real. I'd been dropped into a book I'd hate read last week. The CEO's $10 billion bride. And I was Leo Vance. The guy with the same last name as the hero, but none of the plot armor. The story's official chief romantic obstacle and human ATM. A man with a $10 billion inheritance who throws it all away for a woman, gets repeatedly humiliated by the hero, and finally puts a tragic, bloody end to his story to clear the way for their happiness. The ultimate loser. Bing. Host consciousness detected. Activating the devoted simp system. A robotic voice echoed inside my head. New objective issued. Profess your love to the female lead, Chloe Miller, and present her with the Heart of the Ocean necklace, valued at $10 million. Reward. Life functions maintained for 24 hours. Penalty for failure. Immediate and fatal cardiac arrest. "You have got to be kidding me," I muttered under my breath. I glanced down. Sure enough, I was holding a small, blue velvet box. This was insane. Other guys get transmigrated and become heroes or all-powerful villains. I get to be the comic relief simp who doesn't even make it past the first chapter. First a necklace, then what? The car, the condo, the company, and finally my own life? Yeah, no thanks. Host, please execute the objective immediately. Countdown commencing. 10, 9, 8. The countdown sent a jolt of panic through my chest. Fine. You win. A guy's got to do what a guy's got to do to stay alive. I took a deep breath, plastered a pained, lovesick expression on my face, and looked up at Chloe. "Chloe, this is for you," I said, my voice thick with emotion. "The heart of the ocean. One of a kind in the entire world, just like my love for you. Please." Oh, I'm going to be so sick. This is nauseating. This stupid necklace is a direct ripoff from Titanic. You can get the same thing on Amazon for $9.99. I'll even pay for it. Just don't wear it. It's embarrassing. Come on, Chloe, reject me. Please. Stick to the script. You're supposed to say, "Mr. Vance, please have some self-respect. My love can't be bought," and then run into Ethan's arms. I recited the cheesy lines while my internal monologue ran wild, waiting for her to deliver her cue. But Chloe's reaction wasn't what I expected. She didn't reject me. She didn't run to Ethan. She just stared. Her wide, clear eyes were fixed on me, her expression one of utter bewilderment, as if she was watching her favorite TV show and just saw the boom mic drop into the shot. "Hello." Earth to the female lead. A little reaction here. My knee is starting to kill me. "What? Are you suddenly captivated by my rugged good looks?" "Don't be. I'm the guy who dies, remember? There's no future with me." Chloe's expression grew even stranger. She blinked, then blinked again, and even lifted a hand to her ear as if checking to see if she was hearing things. Ethan had seen enough. He stepped forward, pulling Chloe behind him protectively. He loomed over me, that smug smirk deepening. Give it up, Leo. Chloe loves me, not your money. He reached into his jacket, pulled out a black Amex Centurion card, and flicked it at my face. Here's 10 million. Take it and get lost. And never bother Chloe again. The card grazed my cheek, leaving a faint sting before fluttering to the floor. The humiliation. According to the script, this was my cue to leap to my feet, my eyes blazing with righteous fury, and scream, "You think you can buy everything, Ethan? The love Chloe and I share is priceless." System prompt. Host must now express impotent rage at the male lead and recite the designated line. All right, showtime. I was a natural. I scrambled up, snatched the card from the floor, and pointed it at Ethan's nose, summoning every ounce of shame and fury I could muster. Ethan, you think money can? Holy crap. $10 million? Seriously? Is there really 10 million on this thing? What's the pin? Can I borrow it for a weekend? Dude, you are getting so ripped off. Chloe doesn't love you. She's just using you as a placeholder. She loves the attention and the free stuff. You're the real simp here. We're two sides of the same pathetic coin. A tiny sputtering sound, almost a snort, escaped from behind Ethan. I froze. Ethan froze. We both turned to look at Chloe. She had her hands clamped over her mouth, her shoulders shaking uncontrollably. She was trying so hard not to laugh that her face was turning red and tears were welling in her eyes. Ethan's face went dark. Chloe, what's so funny? She shook her head frantically, waving her hands in dismissal, but the smile that broke through was a dead giveaway. And nothing. Leo just looked a little. Cute right then. Cute? Me. I'm the guy who's about to lose his fortune and jump off a building. And you're calling me cute? Lady, are you reading the same script I am? System warning. System warning. Female lead character deviation detected. Plot integrity compromised by 5%. Host must take immediate corrective action. How was I supposed to correct this? Strangle her until she followed the stage directions? This is a disaster. The female lead has clearly lost her mind. A $10 million insult. And instead of being moved to tears by my devotion, she thinks I'm cute? Is she a reincarnator? Did she get dropped into this world too? No way. If I were her, I'd take Ethan's 10 million and go backpack through Europe. Who has time for this billionaire soap opera nonsense? Chloe's shoulders started shaking even harder. She looked at me, her eyes filled with a bizarre mixture of pity, sympathy, and the kind of relief you feel when you realize the person you thought was a serial killer is just a harmless weirdo. It was a look that said, "So, you're a normal person after all. What the hell? What did that look mean? Wait a second." A horrifying, impossible thought struck me like a bolt of lightning. Oh no, she couldn't possibly be able to hear my thoughts, could she? The idea was so absurd it sent a chill down my spine. No, impossible. Mind reading was something out of a sci-fi movie. This was a trashy romance novel. It might be dumb, but it was still supposed to follow some basic laws of physics. Okay, a test. If she can really hear me, I will stand on this table and start barking like a seal. Chloe's expression froze solid. Her gaze shifted from looking at a weirdo to looking at a genuine psychopath. She even took a half step back, putting a safe distance between us. Well, crap. She could hear me. This was bad. Very, very bad. My entire worldview, along with any shred of dignity I had left, shattered into a million pieces. System, get in here. What is going on? Why can she hear my thoughts? Is this some kind of pirated, buggy version of the system? Bing. System self-diagnostic in progress. All systems operating within normal parameters. No bugs detected. Based on database analysis, it is possible that the host transmigration caused a spiritual shockwave, resulting in an unforeseen mutation in the female lead's consciousness. This system lacks the clearance to investigate further. Recommendation to host. Proceed with caution. Caution? How was I supposed to do that? My brain was basically a live podcast for her. What privacy did I have left? So, from now on, I'm a completely open book to her. She knows every stupid thing I'm thinking. Does that mean I can't even have a dirty thought without her knowing? Oh, come on. What did I do to deserve this? A faint blush crept up Chloe's neck, spreading across her cheeks. She shot me a death glare, her eyes screaming pervert and scumbag. And just like that, Any noble, lovesick image I might have had in her mind was obliterated. Oh, right. I was supposed to be a simp. There was no noble image to begin with. Never mind, then. The bizarre, silent exchange between us wasn't lost on Ethan. His eyes were practically shooting flames of jealousy. "Chloe," he growled, his voice tight with rage. "What are you looking at?" His shout snapped her back to reality. She glanced at him, her expression complicated. "See? That's your hero, yelling at the drop of a hat. Wake up, Chloe. The guy has anger issues. Domestic violence starts with shouting. Dump him, take my $10 million necklace, take his $10 million card, and get the hell out of here. That's how you win at life." Chloe's expression became even more unreadable. She looked at me, then at Ethan, and then her eyes landed on the black card still clutched in my hand. And then she did something that left everyone in the room speechless. She walked right up to me, ignoring Ethan's murderous glare, and gently plucked the Amex from my fingers. Then she turned to face Ethan, a sweet, innocent smile on her face. "Thank you for the 10 million, Ethan." Ethan was stunned. I was stunned. System. The plot is collapsing. She took the money. She's supposed to be above such materialistic things. System warning. Plot deviation has reached 15%. Host must take immediate remedial action. Remedial action? With what? Ethan's face was a mask of thunder. He clearly couldn't process the idea that his pure, angelic Chloe would accept what was essentially a breakup fee. But Chloe didn't let him finish. She waved the card, her smile widening. "You said this was for me, so I wouldn't be bothered by Leo anymore, right?" Ethan nodded numbly. "Perfect," Chloe said with a satisfied nod. She turned back to me and tucked the card into my suit pocket. "Leo, this 10 million is yours now." My brain short-circuited. So did Ethan's. Wait, I don't get it. She gave his money. To me? What does that even mean? Is she trying to be nice? Or is she trying to become my sugar mama? Oh my God, a $10 billion heir being kept by a 9-to-5er using his rival's money. This plot is way more interesting now. Chloe's face turned scarlet. She shot me a look that said, "If you finish that thought, you die." She cleared her throat, adopting a crisp, businesslike tone. "Mr. Hayes was willing to pay $10 million for you to stop harassing me. Well, I'm now using that same $10 million to hire you, to continue harassing me. In fact, I want you to double down. Annoy him until he loses his mind." The room was dead silent. The only sound was the ragged breathing of two very confused billionaires. Ethan's face had gone from dark to a deep shade of purple. He pointed a trembling finger at Chloe. You do this just to spite me." "Yep," Chloe said, nodding cheerfully, her smile beatific. "You shouldn't have yelled at me. I don't have many talents, but I'm very good at holding a grudge." "Oh my God, yes. This is amazing. This is the female lead we need. She's petty. She's brilliant. She's not some weeping damsel. System, are you seeing this? This is what a 21st century woman looks like. 100 times better than the boring, original character." I glanced at my internal system panel. Plot deviation. 30% warning. Warning. System initiating emergency auto-correction protocols. The next thing I knew, a powerful jolt of electricity shot through my body. BZZ. I convulsed, my hair standing on end as a puff of smoke escaped my lips. "Leo, are you okay?" Chloe asked, looking alarmed. What could I say? I've just been struck by lightning from the inside out. I gritted my teeth. "Fine, I managed to choke out. Just feeling a little electrified by your presence." System prompt. Due to the host's passive negligence leading to severe plot deviation, a penalty objective is now being issued. The host must immediately kneel, hug the female lead's legs, and beg for her forgiveness through hysterical tears. My vision went dark. Again? Was this ever going to end? You have got to be kidding me, System. You wanted to hug her legs and cry in front of Ethan? What about my reputation? What about my dignity as a $10 billion heir? I'd rather die. I, Leo Vance, would sooner be electrocuted into dust than. BZZZT. The voltage doubled. I thought my skull was going to crack open. "I'll kneel." With a loud thud, I dropped to the floor in front of Chloe, the movement so fluid it could have been choreographed. Then, to the horror of everyone watching, I wrapped my arms around her slender legs. "Chloe, I was wrong." I wailed. the tears and snot flowing freely. I shouldn't have pressured you. I shouldn't have tainted our pure love with money. Hit me. Yell at me. I'll do anything. Just please, please forgive me. I sobbed like my entire family had just been run over by a steamroller, burying my tear-streaked face in her expensive white dress. My dignity, my pride, it's all gone. Chloe, this dress is this year's Chanel limited edition, right? Don't forget to send me the dry cleaning bill. You can pay with the card you just gave me. Oh, and you should probably avoid white from now on. It stains easily. Chloe stood there, frozen like a statue. She looked down at me, clinging to her leg like a deranged koala, her expression completely blank, her eyes vacant. It was as if her soul had left her body. She had, I suspect, never encountered a man so utterly shameless in her entire life. The whole disaster ended with Ethan storming out of the restaurant and Chloe dragging me out onto the street like a sack of embarrassing potatoes. The cool night air helped clear my head a little. I'd really committed to the crying, and my brain was still feeling the oxygen deprivation. About the dry cleaning bill for the dress. I'll cover it, I said, breaking the awkward silence. Chloe didn't respond. She just stared at me, her eyes scanning me up and down as if I were a bizarre new species of insect she was trying to classify. After a solid minute, she finally spoke. Is there someone else living in your head? Someone else? Lady, there's an entire evil, soul-crushing operating system living in my head. Of course, I couldn't admit that. I had to stick to the lovesick simp persona. I looked at her, my expression wounded. Chloe, what are you talking about? The only one living in my head, and in my heart, is you. A muscle in her jaw twitched. Let's cut the crap, Leo, she said, folding her arms. Her face was a perfect mask of I know everything. That mental beatboxing you were doing in there was something else. I froze. The social death was so complete, so absolute. Game over. She knows. She's calling my bluff. What do I do? Should I kill her and hide the body? No, that's illegal. Maybe I can convince her I have multiple personality disorder. Yes, that's it. If she thinks I'm clinically insane, she can't hold any of it against me. My demeanor shifted instantly. A strange, unnerving smile spread across my face as I began talking to myself. Leo, you can't speak to Chloe like that. Oh yeah? Watch me. She's a thankless woman who doesn't appreciate true love. You shut your mouth. If you say one more word. I was a one-man show, delivering my lines with gusto. Chloe just watched me, her expression slowly melting into one of profound pity. When I finished my performance, she let out a long sigh, rummaged through her purse, and handed me a business card. Leo, I don't know what you're going through, but you need to get help. Seriously. I looked down at the card. Oak Creek Wellness Center. Dr. Matthews. Specialized care for complex minds. We can help you find peace. I was speechless. Oh, thank you so much. You've already got me lined up for the psych ward. You know what, for that, I'm going to go to your crappy apartment and clog your toilet. Chloe's eyes narrowed instantly. What are you planning to do? Damn it. My cover was blown. The insanity plea was a non-starter. I deflated like a punctured tire. Fine. You got me. I said, all the fight gone out of me. I'm not the real Leo Vance. I was transported here from another world. I've got this psycho system in my head forcing me to be a simp. And the fact that you can hear my thoughts is, I assure you, a bug, not a feature. I laid it all out. What was the point in hiding it? The worst she could do was have me committed, and at this point, that didn't sound so bad. To my surprise, Chloe didn't look scared. She just nodded, and I knew an expression on her face. That makes sense. There's no way a guy like you would actually be into me. A guy like me? What's that supposed to mean? A handsome, charming, ridiculously wealthy man of the world couldn't be into you? Oh, you mean the original Leo, the simp, right? Well, a woman like you. A perfectly average, unambitious person whose only goal in life is to do as little as possible. Isn't exactly the type to attract billionaire CEOs and their obsessive rivals. Hey, Chloe said, tapping me on the forehead. Don't you dare call me unambitious in your head. I'm pursuing a life of minimalist spiritual fulfillment. Right, whatever you say. I mumbled, too tired to argue. So, what's your plan now? She asked. Just keep letting that system control you and stalk me forever? What choice do I have? I threw my hands up in despair. If I don't complete the missions, I die. It's not exactly a great set of options. Chloe tapped her chin, thinking, so you have to harass me, and you have to act like you're in love with me in front of Ethan, right? That's the gist of it. This is easy then, she said, her eyes lighting up. She clapped me on the shoulder. Let's work together. Work together? I blinked. Yeah, she said, a sly grin spreading across her face. You keep up your simp act, and I'll play along. We'll put on a show and drive that idiot Ethan so crazy he'll leave me alone for good. When it's all over, you're free from the plot, and I'm free from him. Win-win. That actually sounds like a good idea. But how can I trust her? What if she's secretly working with Ethan to screw me over? Why would I screw you over? Chloe asked, rolling her eyes as if she'd heard my thought. Which she had. Look at you. You're being electrocuted on a daily basis. What's there to gain? Besides, I can't stand Ethan. He's the most arrogant, self-absorbed man I've ever met. Just looking at him makes me feel dirty. She sounded so genuinely disgusted that I started to believe her. What's in it for me? I asked. What's in it for you? She laughed. The next time the system forces you to do something completely mortifying, you'll have me, an insider, who can help you control the damage. How's that for a deal? That is actually a great deal. If I have to suffer through social suicide, I might as well have a co-conspirator. And she seems smart. She might actually be able to help me get out of this. Deal, I said, sticking out my hand. Chloe shook it, her grin widening. Pleasure doing business with you. Leo, my brain is a podcast Vance. Likewise, Chloe, I'm the only listener Miller. And just like that, the woman who was supposed to be my downfall became my accomplice. We had a common enemy and a shared goal. Take down the CEO and win our freedom. With Chloe on my side, my life as a simp went from a living hell to a dark comedy. The next morning, the system was at it again. Daily objective issued. Prepare a romantic breakfast for the female lead, Chloe Miller, and deliver it to her desk at work. Requirement. Breakfast must be accompanied by 99 red roses to signify your boundless love. I read the notification and sighed. Are you serious? Who delivers 99 roses with breakfast? You can't eat roses. And delivering it to her desk? You might as well just hire a skywriter to spell out Leo Vance is a huge simp. There has to be a limit to the public humiliation. Despite my internal protests, I found myself at a flower shop and a cafe. When I walked into the marketing department of Catalyst Inc., carrying a bouquet of roses so massive it obscured my entire face and a bag containing an artisan bagel and a latte, the entire office came to a screeching halt. Wow, isn't that Leo Vance from Vance Industries? Oh my God, he's so handsome. And look at all those roses. He must be here for Chloe. It's so romantic. The whispers felt like tiny needles stabbing me in the back. I was pretty sure my soul had just shriveled up and died. I forced myself to walk to Chloe's desk, placed a mountain of flowers and the breakfast beside her keyboard, and forced a lovesick smile. Good morning, Chloe. I got you this. I hope you like it. Chloe looked up at me, then at the bouquet that was now threatening to annex her entire workspace. Her expression pained. Come on, reject me. Throw the flowers in my face. I'm begging you. I tried to send her a desperate SOS with my eyes. She understood immediately. She stood up, her face a perfect mask of polite annoyance. Mr. Vance, I've told you before, please don't come to my office. It's unprofessional and disrupts my work. Perfect. She nailed it. I mentally gave her a standing ovation. The office gossips were already starting to murmur. What's her problem? He's being so sweet to her, and she's just being rude. Seriously, she doesn't know how lucky she is. If a guy that hot and that rich was simping for me, I'd be on cloud 9. Just when I thought the mission was about to be a success, another voice cut in. Well, if it isn't Mr. Vance, spreading the love again. I turned. A guy in a wrinkled plaid shirt and black-rimmed glasses, his hair a mess, was standing there holding a stack of files and smirking at me. I recognized him. Mark Peterson, a senior marketer who, in the original novel, also had a thing for Chloe but was constantly overshadowed by me. Well, look what we have here. It's douchebag too. What's the matter, Mark? Jealous of my flowers? Too bad. I bet your entire monthly salary wouldn't even cover the vase. Chloe's expression flickered. Mark, oblivious, leaned against her desk in what he probably thought was a cool, casual pose. Chloe, sweetie, a playboy like him isn't right for you. You should give a real guy like me a chance. I may not have his money, but my feelings for you are genuine. Genuine? You mean like how you genuinely go on the anonymous company Slack channel every day and post rumors about how Chloe is a backstabbing, which you slept her way into her position? Yeah, your sincerity is truly touching, you creep. Chloe's face went cold. She looked up at Mark, her eyes like ice. Mark, you can eat whatever you want, but you need to watch your mouth. What do you mean, slept her way into her position? Please clarify. Mark was clearly not expecting the confrontation. He stammered, I didn't say anything. You didn't, Chloe said with a humorless smile. The user on the company channel named Marketing God 69. That's not you. The color drained from Mark's face. How did you know? You want to keep a secret? Don't do the crime, Chloe said, folding her arms, her gaze sharp enough to cut glass. Now, you have 1 hour to delete every single one of those posts and issue a public apology on the same channel. Otherwise, my next call is to HR. Am I a lawyer? Mark started to panic. He never dreamed he'd be caught. I didn't mean it, Chloe. Please, let me explain. I'm not interested, she cut him off. Apologize or get out. Mark looked at Chloe's unyielding expression, then at the contemptuous stares of his co-workers, and finally crumbled. He scurried back to his desk and started furiously typing, his face pale with shame. The drama was over as quickly as it had begun. The office returned to a fragile peace. But now, the way everyone was looking at me had changed. I was no longer just the dumb simp. I was the noble, long-suffering hero who had helped the woman he loved expose a secret villain. I was speechless. System prompt. Congratulations, host. You have completed the hidden objective, unmask a scumbag. Female, lead favorability +5. Plot deviation corrected by -10%. I stared at the system panel, completely numb. Are you serious? I didn't do anything. All I did was think a sarcastic thought. I looked over at Chloe. She was calmly sipping her latte and taking a bite of her bagel, a faint, almost imperceptible smile on her lips. The morning sun streamed through the window, catching in her hair and making her glow. For the first time, I thought that maybe this unambitious, perpetually unimpressed female lead wasn't so bad after all. After the Slack channel incident, my partnership with Chloe became something of a well-oiled machine. She used me as her personal thought detector to navigate the treacherous waters of office politics, exposing several other two-faced snakes like Mark. In return, her unpredictable ad-libbing helped me dance on the razor's edge of the system's rules, keeping me alive and, for the most part, with my dignity intact. Of course, our main antagonist, Ethan Hayes, wasn't about to give up. One afternoon, I was in my office trying to figure out a plausible way to lose a few $100 million to speed up my bankruptcy plan when my assistant buzzed in. Mr. Hayes from Hayes Corp is here to see you. Speak of the devil. What does he want now? Hasn't he learned his lesson? Send him in. A moment later, Ethan strode into my office, wearing his trademark smirk. Leo, long time no see. It's been a week, I said, leaning back in my leather chair. I'm here to talk business, he said, settling into the chair opposite me and crossing his legs. Business? It should be good. I can't wait to see what kind of scheme he's cooked up. That parcel of land upstate, near the Catskills, Ethan said, getting straight to the point. I'm interested. Name your price. The upstate property? It took me a second to remember that my company was, in fact, bidding on a large tract of land. It was in a remote, undeveloped area, surrounded by nothing but woods. Its only selling point was that it was dirt cheap. My plan had been to buy it, let it sit empty, and write it off as the first major loss in my road to ruin project. I never imagined Ethan would be interested in it. System objective issued. Host must immediately reject Ethan Hayes' offer and mock him, thereby demonstrating your unwavering loyalty to the female lead. Here we go again. I sighed internally, schooling my features into a look of pure arrogance. Sorry, Ethan. I'm afraid that land is not for sale. Some things in this world can't be bought with money. Dude, you are my hero. You want it? It's yours. Just name a price, and I'll sign it over right now. Please, just don't outbid me, so I can lose my money in peace. My defiance seemed to please Ethan. He chuckled. Still so naive, Leo. Business is a battlefield, not a playground for lovesick fools like you. I'll give you 100 million. Let me have the land. 100 million? Are you insane? That land is worth 30 million tops. You just want to hand me a $70 million profit? You're not trying to bankrupt me. You're trying to help me. Yes. Deal. Let's sign the papers before you change your mind. My heart was doing backflips, but my face remained a mask of disdain. 100 million? Is that supposed to impress me? I told you, I'm not selling. That land has a special meaning to me, and that special meaning is that it's supposed to make me lose money. Bro, stop raising the price. You're giving me a heart attack. Just give up already. Special meaning? Ethan's eyes glinted with amusement. I'm curious. What kind of meaning? He paused. Then his eyes widened in mock realization. Oh, I get it. I heard Chloe's family is from a small town up in that area. Aren't they? I blinked. Was that true? I had no idea. System, pull up Chloe's file. Bing. Chloe Miller, female, age 24. Place of birth, Pine Creek, New York. Well, I'll be damned. Wow, your deductive reasoning is astounding, Sherlock. You should be a detective. But hey, this works out perfectly. I cleared my throat, putting on a bashful but determined expression, as if he'd uncovered my secret. Since you already know, there's no point in hiding it. That land is not for sale. I'm going to buy it and build the most magnificent estate in the world for Chloe. I delivered the line with so much heartfelt conviction, I almost believed it myself. Ethan's face darkened. Fine, have it your way, he hissed, his voice dangerously low. We'll see who gets it. I'll see you at the auction. He stood up and stormed out of my office. Yes, mission accomplished. Ethan, my man, don't you let me down. I need you to drive the price of that worthless land into the stratosphere at the auction. My early retirement is counting on you. After my visitor left, I sent Chloe a text. Me, what you up to? Chloe the slacker, lying down. Me, busy tonight? Dinner's on me. Chloe the slacker. No, waste of time. Me, it's about the upstate land deal. Chloe the slacker, address. Women. That evening, I met Chloe at a high-end steakhouse downtown. She was, as usual, the picture of elegant indifference, slowly sawing at her filet mignon. I recounted my conversation with Ethan. So that idiot actually believes you're going to spend $500 million to build me a mansion? Chloe asked, nearly choking on a piece of steak. Hey, he came up with it. Not me, I said with a shrug. So what's your plan for the auction? Isn't it obvious? I said, I'll let him win. I'll bet a couple of times to make it look good. Then I'll let him have it. I complete my system mission, I avoid taking a massive profit, and I get to watch him light a mountain of cash on fire. It's a win-win-win. The only downside is I don't get to lose money myself. But seeing Ethan get played for a fool is a pretty good consolation prize. Chloe listened to my thoughts, then put down her fork and knife, her expression suddenly serious. No. No what? You can't let him have the land. Why not? I was baffled. We're talking about a $500 million mistake. You want me to make it instead of him? Yes, she said with a firm nod. You have to buy that land. Lady, are you out of your mind? You want to spend that kind of money on a useless plot of land in the middle of nowhere? Just to build a mansion for your relatives in Pine Creek? I may be a simp, but I'm not an idiot. Chloe's expression grew even more serious. Leo, I'm not joking, she said, her eyes locked on mine. There's something under that land. Something? What? Oil? A secret gold mine. I scoffed. Don't tell me it's your family's ancient burial ground. Neither, she said, shaking her head. She leaned forward and lowered her voice to a conspiratorial whisper. There are rare earth minerals. I froze. My fork clattered against my plate. Rare earth minerals? The words detonated in my brain. Even a business slacker like me knew what that meant. They were talking about the building blocks of modern technology, strategic resources worth more than gold. That worthless plot of land in the middle of nowhere was sitting on top of a rare earth mine. This was too crazy. This was a romance novel, not a treasure hunt. Are you sure? You're not pulling my leg, right? This is a huge deal. How could you possibly know something like that? My hometown is right next to it, Chloe explained calmly. When I was a kid, the old-timers in the village used to talk about strange, glowing rocks in the caves in the hills. A few months ago, I saw a news report that the U.S. Geological Survey was doing extensive testing in that area. I put 2 and 2 together. So this is just a hunch? Chloe, this is a $500 million investment. not a trip to the grocery store. I can't bet the farm on a guess. If you're wrong, I'll really go bankrupt. Isn't that what you wanted all along? She shot back. She had me there. I couldn't say a word. Yes, I wanted to go bankrupt, but on my own terms. I wanted to follow the script, take my lumps, and walk away with a nice severance package from the system. I didn't want to gamble away my entire family fortune on a wild guess and end up homeless. Leo, Chloe said, her gaze steady and unwavering. Trust me, just this once. I looked into her eyes. There wasn't a hint of doubt in them. I hesitated. My brain was screaming that this was an insane risk. But my gut was telling me to take the bet. If I won, I wouldn't just humiliate Ethan. I would multiply the value of Vance Industries tenfold and be free from the threat of bankruptcy forever. And if I lost, well, I'd just be completing my original mission ahead of schedule. Screw it. Let's do it. It's either feast or famine. Lose, and I'm on the street. Win, and I'm king of the world. No, wait. Lose, and I'm taking a dive off a skyscraper. Win, and I'm on a yacht in Monaco. Okay, I said, taking a deep breath and giving her a firm nod. I trust you. A slow smile spread across Chloe's face. You won't regret this. 3 days later, the auction for the upstate property was held. Ethan and I met again, our battleground a sterile conference room. I'd give up now if I were you, Leo, Ethan said, sliding into the seat next to me, his voice dripping with arrogance. We'll see, I said with a smirk. I hope you brought your checkbook. Bring it on, you son of a bitch. Today, I'm going to teach you a lesson in high finance. I'm going to bankrupt you so hard your grandchildren will feel it. The auction began. The opening bid was $30 million. $50 million. Ethan called out immediately, raising his paddle. He was trying to intimidate the competition from the start. 50 million? That's cute. Are you even trying? I casually raised my own paddle. 100 million. A gasp went through the room. Everyone turned to stare at me like I'd lost my mind. Even Ethan looked surprised. He clearly hadn't expected me to come out swinging so hard. He gritted his teeth and raised his paddle again. 110 million. 200 million, I said, my voice calm. 210. 300 million. The price climbed relentlessly, fueled by our mutual animosity. Soon, it had blown past the $400 million mark, a number so absurdly high for this property that everyone else in the room had long since dropped out. They were all just spectators now, watching the two of us go to war. A thin sheen of sweat had appeared on Ethan's forehead. His face was pale. Leo, are you insane? He hissed under his breath. Is this really worth it? For Chloe, I said, my face a mask of romantic devotion. Anything is worth it. Come on, keep going. Don't back down now. You're the big, bat CEO, right? Your money grows on trees. What's a few $100 million between rivals? My taunts, both spoken and unspoken, seemed to hit their mark. The thought of losing to me in front of the world, and by extension, in front of Chloe, was clearly more than his ego could handle. He took a deep, shuddering breath, his eyes wild with determination. 500 million, he roared, slamming his paddle down. The number hung in the air, sucking all the oxygen out of the room. A collective gasp rippled through the audience. $500 million. Every eye was on me now, waiting to see if the lovesick fool would continue his mad pursuit. Even the auctioneer's voice trembled. 500 million from Hayes Corp. Do I hear any other bids? 500 million going once. Going twice. I looked at Ethan's face, flushed with a mixture of triumph and terror, and I had to suppress a grin. Hook, line, and sinker. He took the bait. 500 million for a worthless chunk of dirt. Ethan, my friend, you're going to be paying for this for the rest of your life. I let out a dramatic, tortured sigh, my face a picture of heartbreak and defeat. Then, slowly, I lowered my paddle. I'm out. 500 million, 3 times. Sold. The auctioneer's gavel came down with a deafening crack. Ethan had won. For the low price of $500 million, the land was his. He shot to his feet, a triumphant, manic grin on his face. He strode over to me, looking down his nose. You see that, Leo? That's the difference between you and me. When it comes to real power, your pathetic little crush is worthless. I didn't say anything. I just looked at him with an expression of profound pity, the way you'd look at a man who had just gleefully sawn off his own legs. You're right, you're so right. You're the big winner today. I just hope you're still smiling in a couple of weeks when the geological survey results are made public. My pitying stare seemed to infuriate him more than any insult could have. He scoffed, turned on his heel, and strode off to sign the papers, the conquering hero. And I, under the sympathetic gazes of the entire room, quietly slipped away. System prompt. Congratulations, host. You have successfully provoked the male lead into making a catastrophic financial decision. Mission completion grade, A+. Reward, 10,000 system store points. Plot deviation, 70% warning. Plot has severely deviated from the main storyline. System will now initiate the highest level of autocorrection. Please prepare, host. I looked at the bright red warning on the system panel, and instead of feeling fear, I felt a strange sense of exhilaration. Bring it on. I was ready. In the days following the auction, my noble sacrifice for love became the talk of the town. I was officially the city's biggest joke. Vance Industries' stock took a nosedive. The old men on my board of directors called me nonstop to scream about how I was a disgrace who was running the company into the ground for a woman. I ignored all of it. Let them talk. The louder they yelled now, the more they'd be kissing my feet in a few weeks. Chloe, meanwhile, had become a minor celebrity at her office, the woman who had sparked a $500 million war. She was met with a constant barrage of stares, some envious, some jealous, some contemptuous. But she remained completely unfazed, sticking to her routine of clocking in, doing the bare minimum, and clocking out. It was as if she had no idea she was the main character in a citywide drama. Her composure is incredible. She's completely unbothered. It's a wasted talent. She should be a spy. I was in my office, watching the sea of red on my stock portfolio with a certain grim satisfaction, when Chloe called. Hello. Leo, Ethan's here. At my office. Her voice was tight with anxiety. I sat up straight. What does he want? Did he come to gloat about the land? Or is he trying to poach my girl now that he thinks I'm a loser? He's going to propose. In front of the entire company. I choked on my coffee, spraying it all over my monitor. Propose? Was he insane? He just spent $500 million he didn't have on a worthless plot of land. And his next move was to propose? What kind of twisted CEO logic was that? System objective issued. Host must immediately proceed to Catalyst Inc. and prevent the male lead's proposal. Requirement. You must kiss the female lead in public to assert your dominance. I knew it. I just knew it. The system would never pass up an opportunity for maximum public humiliation. A public kiss? In front of her entire office? In front of him? This wasn't just social suicide. This was going to be front page news. System, can we please negotiate this? How about I just punch him? Or I could grab both their legs and cry and beg them not to get married. The kissing thing is a little intense. I'm not mentally prepared. System, request denied. Please execute the objective immediately, or level 2 electroshock penalty will be administered. BZT. That familiar, nauseating tingle shot up my spine. I'm going. I'm on my way. I shot out of my chair, grabbed my keys, and sprinted out of my office. I blew through at least 3 red lights, but I made it to the Catalyst Inc. building in under 10 minutes. I burst into the lobby. The marketing floor was already swarmed with people. In the center of the crowd, Ethan was on one knee in front of Chloe, holding a massive bouquet of unnaturally blue roses. Behind him, dozens of candles and heart-shaped balloons spelled out, "I love you." Tacky. Unbelievably tacky. Chloe, I know I haven't always been the man you deserve, Ethan said, his voice dripping with what he probably thought was sincerity. But please, believe me when I say my heart is yours. I have the land upstate. I will build you a castle, the most beautiful in the world. Will you marry me and be my princess? The onlookers swooned. Oh, it's so romantic. A $500 million castle. She's the luckiest woman alive. Say yes. Say yes. Chloe just stood there, her expression unreadable. Her eyes scanned the crowd and finally locked with mine. It was a look of pure, unadulterated desperation. A silent scream for help. All right, here we go. Knight in shining armor to the rescue. Though, for the record, this knight is very reluctant. Chloe, you better play along. I'm demanding a raise for this. I took a deep breath, shouldered my way through the crowd, and strode into the center of the circle. Stop. My shout cut through the romantic haze. Everyone turned to stare at me. Ethan looked up, his initial shock quickly replaced by a contemptuous smirk. Leo, the loser returns for another beating. I'm not the loser here, I said, moving to Chloe's side and pulling her behind me. I faced Ethan directly. The man Chloe loves is me. You? Ethan laughed, a harsh, ugly sound. What can you offer her? You couldn't even afford a piece of land. That doesn't matter, I sneered. True love can't be measured in dollars and cents. I realize how ridiculous that sounds coming from a $10 billion heir, but the system is making me say it. All right, Ethan, you ready for the main event? Because things are about to get weird. Without another word to him, I turned to face Chloe. She was looking at me, her expression a mix of nervousness, anticipation, and a tiny spark of morbid curiosity. I looked at her face, her wide, anxious eyes, and my heart started hammering against my ribs. Okay, just get it over with. It's not your first time being publicly humiliated. It's just a kiss. Think of it as a really aggressive dog licking your face. Chloe's eyes suddenly narrowed. You're the dog. The angry voice wasn't mine. It was sharp, clear, and it was coming from inside my head. I was so stunned I couldn't move. She could talk back? Duh. You get to run a 24/7 commentary in my brain. You don't think I get a right of reply? Leo Vance, if you call me a dog one more time, I will bite you. Before I could process this new, terrifying development, Chloe stood on her tiptoes, threw her arms around my neck, and pulled me down. And then, in front of God, Ethan, and the entire marketing department of Catalyst Inc., her lips crashed into mine. The world, for a moment, simply stopped. My brain blue-screened. Total system failure. All I could register was the soft, warm pressure on my lips and the faint, sweet scent of her perfume. System prompt. Congratulations, host. You have exceeded mission parameters. Female lead favorability plus 20. Plot deviation corrected by -30%. Reward. One system store super discount coupon. Plot deviation 40%. The system's notifications were scrolling through my mind, but they were just meaningless noise. My entire universe had shrunk to the woman in my arms, her eyes closed, her eyelashes trembling against her cheek. I don't know how long we stood there, but the shocked murmurs of the crowd eventually brought me back to reality. Oh my God, she kissed Leo. What is happening? Is this for real? So, she was in love with Leo all along. Ethan was a statue. He was still kneeling on the floor, the blue roses scattered around him, his face a mask of utter disbelief. He looked like a farmer who had spent a year cultivating a prize-winning cabbage, only to watch a pig wander in and eat it. I was the pig. Chloe finally pulled away. Her face was as red as a tomato, but she held her head high, turning to face Ethan with a cool, collected expression. Well, Ethan, she said, do you get it now? His mouth opened and closed, but no sound came out. I don't love you, she said, her voice quiet but firm enough for everyone to hear. I have never loved you. The man I love is Leo. It has always been him. Wow, that's some Oscar-worthy acting right there. A little over the top, maybe? You didn't have to kiss me so hard. My lips are numb. Keep talking, and I'll do it again. Chloe's voice, sharp and threatening, echoed in my head. I immediately shut up. My lips are sealed. Not another word, I promise. Ethan finally staggered to his feet, his handsome face twisted into an ugly snarl of rage and jealousy. You will regret this, Chloe, he spat, pointing a trembling finger at us. And you, Leo, don't think you've won. This is just the beginning. I will make you both pay for what you've done today. With that, he turned and stormed away, a tragic hero in his own mind, leaving a trail of broken pride and blue rose petals in his wake. The grand proposal had ended in a spectacular train wreck, and Chloe and I were the ones left standing in the wreckage. After the chaos died down, Chloe dragged me up to the building's rooftop. Okay, what was that? I asked, leaning against the railing. Having you talk in my head now. Did we just soul bond with a kiss? Is this a fantasy novel now? How should I know? She said, avoiding my gaze, the blush still high on her cheeks. You were just standing there stalling. I thought, if you're not going to do it, I will. And then, suddenly you could hear me. That's incredible. Let me try something. Chloe is a little piggy. Chloe is a little piggy. Leo, she yelped, stomping her foot and punching me in the arm. You say that one more time, and I will throw you off this roof. Just kidding, kidding, I said, laughing and backing away. So it was real. We now had a two-way psychic link. There were officially no secrets between us. Hey, thanks, by the way, I said, rubbing the back of my neck. Back there. If you hadn't, well, I'd probably still be standing there trying to work up the nerve. Don't mention it, she said, turning to look out over the city. We're partners, remember? Helping you helps me. The last thing I want is to actually marry that psychopath. She tried to sound casual, but I could see that the tips of her ears were bright red. She's actually kind of adorable when she's flustered. Shut up. Her voice shot back in my head. I couldn't help but smile. The sun was warm. The breeze was gentle. It was just the two of us on the roof, a strange, comfortable silence settling between us. And I had a feeling that, somewhere along the line, our relationship had become something more than just a business arrangement. 10 days passed. The city was quiet. Ethan Hayes seemed to have vanished off the face of the earth after his failed proposal. I hope he didn't find a skyscraper and take a swan dive. That would be a real shame. If he's dead, who will I laugh at when the real survey results come out? Can you try being less of a sociopath? Chloe's voice chided me. Hey, I'm just concerned for his well-being. My relationship with Chloe had also changed. We were practically inseparable. I drove her to work. I drove her home. We had lunch together. And at night, we'd stay up late, talking in our heads about everything and nothing. Office gossip, what we should order for dinner, the color of the new pajamas she bought. Mostly, it was her telling me I was an idiot and me seeing how far I could push her before she threatened me with bodily harm. We were starting to feel like a real couple. System prompt. Female lead favorability has reached 80%. Please continue your efforts, host. Seeing that number tick up gave me a strange, warm feeling. I think I was actually falling for this cynical, perpetually tired woman who secretly had a heart of gold. I was signing some papers when an unfamiliar number called my phone. Hello, is this Mr. Leo Vance? A professional voice on the other end asked. Speaking. Sir, this is the U.S. Geological Survey. We've completed the preliminary analysis you commissioned for the parcel of land in the Catskills. The results are in. My heart leaped into my throat. This was it. And my voice was trembling. There was a pause on the other end of the line. Then, the man's voice, now filled with an almost reverent excitement, said, Mr. Vance, we've discovered a supergiant rare earth deposit. The preliminary estimates of its size are staggering. My mind went completely blank. We did it. We actually did it. I hung up the phone and jumped out of my chair, whooping and cheering like a madman. Chloe, we're rich. We're ridiculously, stupendously rich. It's real. The mind is real. I broadcasted the news to her with all the psychic energy I could muster. Seriously? Oh my God, that's amazing. Her mental voice was filled with pure joy. Where are you? I'm coming to find you. I'm at the office. Come here now. We are celebrating tonight. I immediately called an emergency board meeting. When I announced the discovery, the room erupted. The same old men who had been calling me a disgrace just days ago were now tearfully shaking my hand, calling me a visionary, a once-in-a-generation business genius. The moment the news went public, Vance Industries' stock exploded, hitting the circuit breaker multiple times as it shot into the stratosphere. My personal net worth tripled in the span of a few hours. And at the same time, another piece of news hit the wire. Hayes Corp's acquisition of the upstate property had been frozen by federal regulators. It turned out that I had filed a preliminary application for mineral exploration and development rights with the Bureau of Land Management weeks before the auction. My application was legal, valid, and took precedence, which meant Ethan's $500 million check had bought him absolutely nothing. The land was mine. That night, I booked the entire top-floor restaurant of the city's tallest skyscraper. A toast, I said, raising my glass to Chloe, to the woman who made it all happen. I'll drink to that, she said, smiling as she clinked her glass against mine. I still can't believe we won, I said, looking out at the glittering cityscape below. I told you to trust me, didn't I? She said, a smug little grin on her face. Yes, you're a genius, I said, my eyes fixed on her. The soft light of the restaurant made her cheeks glow and her eyes sparkle like stars. I was completely captivated. God, she's beautiful. Chloe's face turned a shade pinker. She looked down, taking a small sip of her wine, suddenly shy. The playful atmosphere had shifted, becoming charged with something else. Chloe, I said, my voice suddenly serious. What if? What if we stop pretending? Chloe's head snapped up, her wine glass sloshing in her hand. What? What did you say? I said. I began, my eyes locked on hers, my voice steady and sincere. Let's be together. For real. No more acting, no more partnership. A real couple. You and me. Oh my God, I said it. I actually said it. Is she going to say yes? What if she thinks it's too soon? What if she says no? The humiliation will be unbearable. My heart was pounding like a drum solo. System. Status report. What's her favorability at? Bing. Female lead favorability. 95%. 95%. I had a chance. Chloe just looked at me, her expression unreadable. There was surprise, a hint of a blush, and something else. A flicker of doubt. What are you thinking? I asked her in my head. I'm afraid. Her thought came back, hesitant and vulnerable. I'm afraid that the person you like isn't me. It's the female lead. The one who helped you beat Ethan. The one who made you a fortune. If I couldn't read your mind, if I hadn't known about the mine, if I was just a normal, ordinary girl who wanted nothing more than a quiet life, would you still like me? I was stunned. I had never considered that she might feel that way. I looked at her, at the genuine fear and insecurity in her eyes, and I smiled. I reached across the table and took her hand. It was cool to the touch and trembling slightly. Chloe, I said, my voice soft but firm. Listen to me. I don't like you because you can hear my thoughts, or because you found a mine. I like you because when everyone else in the world saw me as a pathetic simp, you were the only one who saw the real me underneath and thought it was funny. I like you because when I was being forced to humiliate myself and felt like I couldn't go on, you were the one who stepped in and saved me. I like you because when Ethan beat me, when the whole world was laughing at me, you were the only one who believed in me. The only one who was willing to gamble everything by my side. I like you, the real you, the one who acts cool and distant, but is secretly warm and kind, the one who is a little bit devious and a whole lot adorable, the one whose greatest ambition in life is to take a really good nap. I squeeze her hand. So, will you give me the chance to take care of you, my beautiful, lazy girl? My words hung in the quiet air of the restaurant. Chloe's eyes welled up. A single, perfect tear traced a path down her cheek. And then she smiled. A radiant, beautiful smile. Idiot, she thought, her voice filled with affection. And then she nodded. I will. System prompt. Congratulations, host. Female lead favorability has reached 100%. Main objective when the female lead's heart is complete. Congratulations, host. You have successfully altered the fate of the side character and become the protagonist. All missions for the devoted simp system are now complete. The linking process initiated. 10%, 50%, 100%. Bing. System has been successfully uninstalled. We wish you and your partner a long and happy life. Goodbye. The robotic voice echoed in my head one last time, and then silence. A profound, peaceful silence. I felt a weight I didn't even know I was carrying lift from my soul. I was free. I looked at the woman across from me, her face streaked with happy tears, and my heart felt like it was going to burst. I stood, walked around the table, and pulled her gently into my arms. I'll take care of you from now on, I whispered into her hair. Okay, she whispered back. The next day, a single story dominated every news outlet in the city. Hayes Corp was under federal investigation for securities fraud and illegal fundraising. Its chairman and CEO, Ethan Hayes, had been arrested. It turned out the company had been a hollow shell for years. To win the auction, Ethan had embezzled all of the company's liquid assets and taken out massive predatory loans. Now, the land was gone, the money was gone, and the only thing waiting for him was a long, hard prison sentence. The once invincible CEO had finally paid the price for his arrogance. And me, I was just starting my new life with the woman I loved by my side. Our real life. End.